Well, good morning. Mama, how are you?
Hi, good morning. I'm
Great.
good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to the match against the Black Stars tomorrow.
Yeah, you're looking forward to it?
Yeah.
Is it fear that is in me? Is it lack
No,
of... got a little fear, you know?
Well, I don't think it's all about fear.
Say a little fear. I've got fear.
No, the thing is that I think we all did watch the Cameroonians.
Yep.
And they look like they're playing better than the Black Stars. But sometimes football is not only about the way you play. It's also about how you have the right composure for a certain match. So, look, we lost, literally as if we lost. We drew against Benin, but we still have hope that we will be in a position to win the match against the Cameroonians, which will be a bit difficult, more difficult than we think, because if you look at the match that the Cameroonians played, it looks like they're up there. They're up there. They're up there. I remember they are the defending champions too, and they have some of the best players across Europe.
Yeah. Okay, maybe I'm also underestimating my own team, the Black Stars. We also do have a team. There are people who are afraid of us, so
yeah,
we just have to keep our fingers crossed.
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, the players, do they need this? Do they need this? If they do need it,
then they will go.
Then they would go for it. But if they don't care and it's then so I think it comes back to whether or not they need it, because it's up to them.
Yeah,
it's up to those 11.
Let's see.
They're 11,
let's
right?
See how,
11 players.
Yeah, let's see how they're able to.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, they will get paid.
Oh, you two don't talk about their pay.
They will get paid and all that. But they also need to.
They have to own it.
Yes. They need so much to want it that they would want to.
I heard Sami Kufuor, who's a former Black Stars player himself, mention that when you're playing, first of all, you're playing for yourself, you're playing for your family, and then you're playing for the country. So the country is actually even dead. Yeah. So you've got to need it.
Yes.
And
the thing is that if you're able to forfeit all these 3 steps of the need, of wanting it so much, the benefit that accrue to you personally are so much, because there's a bigger stage. Now the African Cup of Nations is being beamed worldwide than usually it used to be. So you find that scouts, coaches, even club directors and administrators, and even various continental bodies and their executives are watching you. And so if you do well, if you were not given the best positions and respecting your team back in Europe, you go there now and they say, look, those guys showed us something. Can we just sacrifice and give them this
thought when I was thinking about the day I used goal. I was thinking, somebody will be paying attention to it. All right, we will talk football a bit later on in the morning, looking ahead to our game tomorrow. But we have to do the newspapers. We have to tell you about the weather as well.
It's always important.
Yeah, it is. But yesterday, oh gosh, did Meteo swerve me? Because they said we should wear black. They said we should expect a lot of rain, a little sunshine. But I didn't see much rain. Yeah, probably didn't see rain at all. But it happens. Sometimes you are swept. And then when you decide not to take it serious, that's when it means something. So we'll tell you about the weather, which is valid from 7 a.m. today. We've got the Ghanaian Times, the Daily Graphic, the Finder, the Daily Guide, the Dispatch, the Daily Statesman, the Gold Streets, the Herald newspaper. I see the Observer as well, and the Weekend today. So we've got lots of papers. Let's begin. And let's start off with the Daily Graphic newspaper. Here we go with what's on the front page of the paper today. Sell Woyome's assets. Supreme Court orders. Parliament gives tax exemption to 1 district, 1 factory investors. Beige CEO, others dragged to court over 1 billion Ghana cedis. On the Woyome case, interestingly, the African human rights courts will also rule today. There's an issue before the courts, and we will tell you about the response. Joseph Akable recently went to Ethiopia and spoke to the head of the courts. Is it the head of the court? Yeah. So we will share president of the African
the
Woyome
courts. Case is very interesting. Then if you follow law.
So we'll spend a bit of time on this and bring you that reaction as well. And then in the center spread of the Daily Graphic today, religious leaders attend symposium to foster unity among Muslims and other faiths. Sankofa Jinyame gas deal not sufficient, transparent, according to Imani. Ex-GMPCCO says it was flawless. Back page of the Daily Graphic. Foxes devour Taranga Lions. Madagascar close to qualification. Can Atlas Lions also devour the elephants? Well, so lots of questions with question marks on the back page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. Okay, Roland will come through with the Daily Guide.
Okay, I do the Daily Guide. On the front page of the Daily Guide, we have Woyome Hot SC. That will be the Supreme Court order sale of houses. And we have an attached picture of Alfred Agbasi Woyome. Also on the front page of the Daily Guide, Napo Sius Samijenfi has an attached picture of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempe. JB Killer saying, according to doctors who examined him, and government recruits Mahama nurses, were told. On the back page is all sports, and it says Cameroon plots Ghana fall. That story is found by the correspondent for the Daily Guide, Kofi Owusu-Aduonum from Cairo, Egypt. Medical team monitors Dide's injury. According to the news,
he missed training.
Yeah, even this morning or later, I was hearing that he may not feature in today's match. I smoke 60 a day, according to Maurizio Sarri, a former coach of Chelsea, but now signed on to the Italian champions Juventus. Okay, let's go to the center spread. It's been getting interesting. NAP. That's the president or the network of persons living with HIV, NAP Ghana, blasts brother Sami over HIV/AIDS claim. Kind of interesting, sorry if you say. It's a Face of Road Safety Africa 2019 auditions on Saturday. And then we have other stories also on the front page, the center spread of the Daily Guide. Now, let's do quickly Dispatch. The Dispatch has a story: 16 million or 600 million Ghana cedi oil cash unaccounted for in the last audit, according to the Public Interest and Accountability Committee, PIAC. Very interesting. We brought you a story also today in which during a forum in Kumasi, the Ashanti regional capital, it was noted that apparently some projects are not well executed, some not executed at all, and some are also overinflated. Okay, inflated, not over, inflated. First Lady presents ambulances to 6 institutions in 3 regions. Those are the stories we have from the 2 newspapers. Mamavi, you want to get on to...
Yeah, the Ghanaian Times newspaper. Front page of the Times, Ghana generates 463,569,064 oil revenue. I hope I got the figures right. A lot of figures on the front page of the paper. Abantu AWDF partner media to step up advocacy on affirmative action bill. Upstream natural gas contracting processes lack transparency, according to Imani. Supreme Court orders sale of Woyome's assets to offset 51.2 million Ghana cedis judgment debts. That would be -4, right? Because he had paid 4. Irate youth. So some irate youth of Ejuso Jamasi in Ashanti region on Tuesday night set ablaze the house of a juju man from Benin who has been accused of having a hand in the murder of a 15-year-old jabbing senior high school female students. Also, it's very tiny there, but at least the first paragraph of the story is on the front page of the paper. And just beneath, at least 16 people have been crushed to death at a stadium in Madagascar during Independence Day celebrations.
That's
in the
tragic.
meantime, Madagascar in the Africa Cup of Nations doing extremely well, surprising lots of people, except that the team is not surprised. They think that they are better than what people actually assume them to be, maybe. Center spread of the paper. Upstream natural gas contracting processes lack transparency. The full story is in the center spread of the paper. It says there is insufficient transparency in the upstream contracting process for natural gas in Ghana as required by international best practice, according to a study by think tank Imani Africa. It established that some processes, including the award of rights to international oil companies, were shrouded in secrecy. rendering stakeholders incapable of monitoring and making inputs. Okay, let's turn to the back page of the paper, and it's all about the Africa Cup of Nations. Yesterday I was supporting Senegal, but Algeria pulled that upset. That story is on the back page of the paper. Today we're looking at Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire. That will be an interesting match because of this man, Renat. That's the Frenchman who's took 2 teams to win the Africa Cup of Nations. Yeah. And his famous white shirts.
And he, according to his record, he seemed to be good at winning the African Cup of Nations with the countries. And he doesn't stay long.
Zambia and Cote d'Ivoire?
Yeah, after he wins, he moves away.
Yeah.
Because he knows that a typical African mind, they'll become complacent. So he moves away. Okay.
Let's continue with the Finder newspaper. Front page of the Finder today. Cocoa floor price faces sabotage. Ghanaian farmers clash with World Cocoa Farmers Organization. Manufacture of 300 ambulances nearing completion, according to government. Supreme Court orders sale of Woyome's assets. Asantehene calls for responsible and sustainable bauxite mining. Yeah, basically, front page. That's what's there.
All right, so let's look at the Herald newspaper. The Herald has the main story. 33 million Ghana cedi missing at the Ghana Exim Bank. There's an attached picture of the CEO for the Exim Bank, Lawrence Agent Sam. We also have Alan Chiramantin, the Trade Minister, Gifty Klenam, Emmanuel Kofi Mti, GRA boss. I should be former GRA boss. Oh, is he still? No, he is.
No, he is.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They made some changes, but
not him.
Not him, yeah.
My apologies, sir. Speakers on Africa must be smart and knowledgeable, according to Chinwe Hesse. And we have Attorney General's girl chops hot in Opuni trial, ordered to release vital documents. PPA CEO has also been summoned. Government to disrupt classes in Ho today. I thought there's a public forum and the students are supposed to participate. I don't think it's wrong if they get to participate. It's good. It's also a learning ground for them. So we'll see how it goes. We have the Statesman next. The front page of the Statesman has the main story, or what we call the banner headline, Woyome meets his match. Supreme Court orders asset sale to defray 51.2 million Ghana cedi dirt.
Why are we not taking away?
Ghana cedi
it's 47.2. You've got to take the 4 out of it.
Yeah, sure. He's already paid for 4 million. Okay, so then we have other stories as well. Up there, Michael Jackson, the way he made us feel. Okay, and we have Ghana secures 1 billion Ghana cedis to boost water projects. We have an attached picture of the Minister for Water and Sanitation, Cecilia Abnadapa, a former Member of Parliament for Bantama. We also have on the back page, 2019 AFCON update, Black Star players pocket $23,000 each, or dollars each, okay, dollars each, as part payment for the appearance fee. Mind you, they're supposed to collect some 80,000 Ghana cedis for appearance. That's not bad. And as we're saying on the show, they need to also own it. Mamavi is leading that crusade. Own it, Black Stars.
Yeah.
While you carry us along.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the day you must play.
Well, he has an injury to his leg. You know, the two of them, they seem to have something with the Black Star. Their father also did, you know. I love their dedication to the senior national team. Neymar wants Barcelona return, and apparently, if you get to monitor the news report, Mamavi, it's indicating that he's even willing to go on a strike to force a sale or a transfer to Barcelona. That guy is always dividing opinion. You know, he's very good on the pitch, and he also likes the money as well.
Yeah.
and trying to always force his sale and get the money, he's very controversial. He doesn't mind. Charlie, the money comes first.
Really?
Yeah, I think to him.
Because I thought he's already like a rich.
No, you know, he's rich, and he has his dad.
Yeah.
And brother as part of his management. So, you know, his career has always been, alongside, apart from the talent, properly managed. because, you know, he's a cash cow for the family. And I think that the way they manage him is the best.
Ayo.
And Spanish class vice president also claims if he goes to Barcelona, that's good for the team as well. It's not bad. Barcelona is a lovable team. It's not a team that I support, but I love the way they play football. Because Messi is going off his peak period. It will take a couple of years, but then still.
That's what you think. Okay, let's spend a bit of time and do the Woyome story, unless you have another paper.
Let's go.
So this is from the front page of the Daily Graphic newspaper. 3 years of legal juggling over the true ownership of properties in the case involving the businessman Alfred Agbosi Woyome. And yesterday, the Supreme Court settled it, and we have a right to sell off those properties and use it to defray the cost, even though it's been, the value, as we put it, is 20 million. And let me tell you about the properties. It includes 2 mansions at Trasacco Estates, a house at Roland, is it Pehe or Pehe? Pehe, where he resides, an office complex at Anato Holdings, residential building at Abelinkpe, and a stone quarry in the eastern region. Okay, let me go to page 3 and see, including its plants and equipment. The court, with Mr. Justice A.A. Benin as a sole judge, held that the properties belonged to Woyome and that the claim by UT Bank that the businessman sold 2 houses at Trasacco Estate to the bank to defray his debts was a sham. Again, the Apex Court held that Woyome's quarry was not used as collateral as he and the bank claimed. So cost of 60,000 Ghana cedis was awarded against UT Bank and Woyome. All right. So the points about this is that at least we've settled it. Even if we sold and we got 20 million, that would be minus 47.2. 47.2 minus 20 million. Okay. At least we're getting somewhere. But the fact is, Mr. Woyome, remember, went to the African Court on Human and People's Rights, and they're also delivering a judgment on that case today. What exactly is he asking for from this particular court? He wants the court to rule that his rights have been violated by Ghana in relation to the case in which he sued government for abrogating a financial engineering services contract and was paid 51.2 million Ghana cedis. So the whole reason we are where we are today. Now, here is President of the African Regional Court, who wants Ghana and the businessman to obey its decision, which would be delivered today. So Justice Sylvian Ore spoke to Joseph Akable in Ethiopia earlier this year.
When the state, the party before the court is the state, not a national court, or perhaps it can involve, of course, national court or other institution, but the state that has been sanctioned or recognized as having violated human rights is the state. Yeah.
And you expect all the nations, and in this case Ghana included, cases to respect and abide by whatever decision that will come from the courts once they've agreed themselves to ratify it and obey by it?
No, I expect all the countries, all the state parties, all the countries before the court to respect the decision of the court. So I'm not talking on a specific country. I'm speaking on a general way, as I said. Yeah. Generally speaking, what a court can expect is that its decision be implemented, being respected. So, yeah.
So that's presidents of the courts that will be delivering that judgment today. We'll see how that goes, because our Supreme Court is our Supreme Court. Whatever this court says, is it going to, if it goes in Mr. Woyome's favor, is it going to reverse everything that we have done in terms of what our Supreme Court has done so far, or whatever? We are in a place where we're not. It's a bit of an unfamiliar place. However, Roland, some people think that we've been here before because they use the Ivory Coast, the Ghana Ivory Coast maritime issue. And they say we respected that courts.
Yeah, the thing is that Ghana as a sovereign state signs on to international treaties and regulations or laws, so to speak. And once you sign on to them, even though they don't take precedent over your laws, for those particular treaties that you have or are enjoined as signatories, you have to obey them. So I don't know whether this, because it's a decision of the Supreme Court, and if this is coming as a respectable country in the Committee of Nations, I'm thinking, depends on how this decision goes. If it goes the opposite, we're bound to respect it because we have signed on. We're signatory to that. It's
okay. There's a big question mark. Well, Mr. Woyome says, however, that if the decision goes against him, if today's decision goes against him, he's going to actually help government sell off his assets to defray the costs. But he also warned government against disrespecting a verdict in his favor. In the meantime, Deputy Attorney General Godfrey Dame, who led this Supreme Court yesterday, expects a favorable decision today. So we'll see how this one goes. When we get to that bridge, we'll see how we cross it, Roland.
Well, definitely. And well, we still have the Go Street business. Let me just run through quickly. And then he said, banks' credit stands to tighten in 6 months, and banks shifting from loans to investment. That's a good thing as well. But also, they need to free up some money because the fiscal space is just so tight for companies and small startups or businesses to access credit. And then government considering shares acquisition instead of tax exemptions. And Data Protection Commission begins compliance enforcement next week. Possible prosecution of culpable institutions to follow. And if you go to the back page of the Go Street business, it says Barclays Ghana to intensify trade finance to businesses as it transitions to APSA. And we have Consolidated Bank Ghana introduced a unique product for customers. That was in black. Yeah, those are their brand colors.
You're through?
Yes,
okay.
I'm through.
There's this also the court related, but it has to do with beige. I thought I would share a bit of it. Picking this from page 16 in the Daily Graphic newspaper of today. Story by Emmanuel Ebo-Hoxson. Says the founder and chief executive officer of the defunct Beige Bank, Michael Nyeneku, and 12 subsidiaries of the Beige Group have been dragged to court by the receiver of the bank, Ni Amano Dodu, for the alleged roles they played leading to the collapse of the bank. Ni Dodu is seeking to use the court's action to retrieve more than 1 billion Ghana cedis from Nyeneku and his companies. The writs filed at the Accra High Court accuses the former CEO of breaching his duties as a director of the bank and engaging in unlawful activities which led to massive losses at the Beige Bank. According to the writ, Nyeneku allegedly supervised the unlawfully instructed the payments of hundreds of millions of Ghana cedis to his cronies and subsidiary companies without due diligence. Apart from the recovery of the various sums of money, the receiver also wants to use the suit to take custody of over 10 landed properties and about 165 cars and equipment which he averred were acquired with funds from the defunct bank. The properties include a residential building at Trasacco. It always involves a building at Trasacco, right? East Legon and other properties scattered across Accra and Kumasi in the Ashanti region. All right, so there's another one to look out for in terms of this one involving the Beige CEO. Yeah, Ro, any other stories?
Yes, there's a story that has been brewing over the last couple of days, and it's in relation to concerns that have been raised and by the Public Interest and Accountability Committee. And they're supposed to make sure that we monitor the funds that come from oil revenue and the projects and initiatives that they are used for and whether they are used for well. We'll take you to Kumasi, in which at a forum the concerns were raised about projects that had not been done shoddily, but more so projects that were not that had been done shoddily, also projects that were not sometimes even done at all, even though they have been invented to be or inventory to have been done. And that raises concerns about the sort of commitment we have to how well we implement oil revenue and what we use the proceeds for. It's important. You know that our regulations and the structure of the way we intend using the proceeds from the oil revenues were structured around what the structure was in Norway, and we had the Norwegians help us prior to 2007, 2008 to come and put in place the various regulations to ensure, one, we use the proceeds well. Two, we also had proper synergy for local content streamed into the industry. As of now, for this current state of the way we use our revenues, it's always been a concern for PIAC. We'll go and recall that story that was put together, and from Kumasi you get to find that there are projects in there that are giving us indication that we don't tend to monitor the project well. The commitment is also not there for how well we tend to use the cash. We should be worried about it.
Absolutely.
Recently we did a story. We had Kwetenate go to do an investigation as to how some of the roads and the other project that we use oil revenue for had not been properly executed. We'll take you to Kumasi. We'll look at that story, then we'll be back.
The public forum brought together many from different spheres of economic lives in the Sokomampong Municipal Assembly. The Public Interest and Accountability Committee's public engagement is an initiative to get Ghanaians well informed about how their oil money is used and also solicit input on how to invest the funds. Participants at the forum were disappointed at reports of either non-existent or shortly executed oil-funded projects in the face of serious infrastructure deficits.
It's mind-boggling. For example, they made mention of one school in one of the northern regions, Bagabaga Senior High School, to be precise, that a generator was purchased at 4 million Ghana cedis. And I asked myself, how much is even the Akosombo Dam? How much did it cost Ghanaians? A generator, which was not even in good shape. It's not working. 4 million Ghana cedis.
It happened that my area was captured, that a road was constructed in my area 2014. But we are very much aware that in 2014 there wasn't any road that was constructed in my electoral area. So I found it mind-boggling that perhaps we will have to seek redress in court, possibly. Ghana cannot develop without us being honest to ourselves.
Dealing with it, people must be prosecuted.
If we had something like PIAC at Obuasi or Takwa or areas where we've been extracting gold for many, many years, I think there would have been pressure on those who are extracting the gold or minerals to build roads, to build infrastructure, to build fence.
Vice Chairman of the committee, Dr. Thomas Kojo Stevens, tells Law Business attention must be given to legacy projects.
There have been a lot of times when it's been outright shoddy work. So it's very, very important that in terms of the infrastructure project, it's all money that's being used for these projects. That in terms of value for money, we get value for money. And like has been raised in virtually all the regions that we've gone to, it's important that the government focuses on some legacy projects, big projects that years after we can all look back and know that we use oil money for. Yes, some people have pointed to 3 stages, but I'm talking, so 3 stages is investment in human capital, but I'm also talking about infrastructure.
The forum, which is expected to be continued across other parts of the country, is meant to ensure the proper utilization of the oil revenues. Prince Apia reporting.
So we've had instances in which 4 million Ghana cedis, it's not 4 million cedis, so 4 million cedis is old money. 4 million Ghana cedis, GH Ghana cedi sign, was used to purchase a generator. That's what they put.
So is either the projects is done shortly,
not done at all,
inflated,
inflated.
Not done at all, but we've been billed like we've actually paid for something that doesn't exist at all.
Exactly. Oh. And so it's a 3-pronged approach. Not done at all, done but shortly done, or inflated.
Now when the project doesn't even exist.
Let me take you. Look, in 2017, the PIAC reports they revealed that 403 million Ghana cedis was unspent money that also was not accounted for. Ayera. In the year under review, the government programmed, this is what they programmed though, in the budget, as if they go and read the thing in Parliament. 1.55 billion as the ABFA, that would be the annual budget funding amount. Expenditure for 20, and it also indicated that it included the 403, which, and if you look at the exchange losses and the gains, it's now 440 because it's increased. Now, there's been analysis that has been done by PIAC that is indicating that that money still, they can't find a trail. It's not being accounted for. They've had some questions sent to the ministry. And the ministry is indicating, oh, from 2017, we should have brought it forward to 2018, but it looks like this is an oversight. So we'll bring it to 2019.
You know, I was talking about...
So where is it going to?
I was talking about integrity, but you put my mind back to sincerity. You know what the chief said?
And patriotism, if you're doing something.
If PIAC was in all these areas where we mine gold, you know, but should PIAC be everywhere? You know, like, can't you just simply do your work? Can't you be patriotic? You know, we say we are serving a nation, right? We're living and... Oh.
And you know, one person who has...
Sometimes it's heartbreaking.
One person who has been monitoring this is the PIAC boss, Dr. Steve Mantia. You know, he's always worked with civil society and all that, and ISODEC. And he says that the recurrent development speaks of the continued lack of budget compliance whilst governments go around borrowing funds for state projects like the loan to construct the Terminal 3 of the Kotoka International Airport, whilst people will make sure that the money is not accounted for.
Yeah. But you know,
and it's surprising because...
What is disheartening, Roland, is the fact that PIAC will come up with something like this and government still won't do anything about it. So it's like a revelation. We all read it, we share it, we talk about it, we are appalled, and then that's it.
So he says that, for example, he said total petroleum receipts paid into the Petroleum Holding Fund in 2018 was $977 million. And the current exchange rate is 5.4, or let's say 5.1. It depends on, I'm speaking Goro Boys black market. So it says, so if the Kotoka International Airport Terminal 3 costs only $350 million, it means that the 2018 revenue could have built almost 3 of Terminal 3.
And we are going around, cup in hand, begging, asking.
The money is also there.
You know, this is Ghana Beyond Aid right there.
Yeah.
This is Ghana Beyond Aid.
The dispatch is Ghana Beyond Aid. This one. All the report is in there.
We're not done with this.
4 million Ghana cedi for generator. Gambaga.
Yeah.
Gambaga,
I don't know. We have to let the people understand that this is it. You know, can we point to something in each region and say that, but for oil, you know, like something that will be there for a very long time that we can say, but for oil, Akosombo Dam. You know, something.
And you know that sometimes, I think that you find out.
Let's do Myjoyonline.
Charlie, let's do Myjoyonline.com.
Yeah.
Let's do Myjoyonline.com.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have Myjoyonline.com. 4 points. No, this is a real one. We're starting this way. Finance Ministry compelled GMPC to expunge $50 million loan from books. PIAC report is here again.
I thought we were running away from PIAC and all these things. That's just simply breaking my heart. But we're still here.
Let's say expunge it. PIAC, they are doing good work. Oh, Dr. Steve Mantia and his.
Yeah, but what do we do with the revelations?
No, it's normal. $4.8 billion Ningo Pram Plan City extension project in the offing. Oh, we're announcing some big thing again. Next one. MTN Heroes of Change 2019 Charles Ofori and Tepem, the science education champion. Salekope houses seen Monday, vanish Wednesday.
Oh.
If you go to many coastal cities in the United States of America, if you want to buy a beach house along the shores of the United States of America, it's one of the most expensive beach houses in the United States of America. one of the most expensive you can ever find in the world. In Ghana, our shores, nobody wants to live there. We don't protect them. Government laughs off Woyome's last hope in Africa court. And Mama Vioso Boaje had been giving you the update this morning. So we'll follow through. We'll bring you the update tomorrow morning when we have the show.
Oh, the update will be on Joy News. You want to come and do AM?
Oh, tomorrow is a Saturday, I forgot it. That's when we have the Black Stars match.
Are you hosting News File?
So Inke's son, respect our senior citizens. And then we have two more before we go. AFCON 2019, Madagascar, they got a win. I'm told that in Antananarivo, it was all joy, and the rest of the cities that they have. Continue fairy tale debut with first victory. They drew. And Carl Bank teller steals depositors' cash. It was an amount of some 62,000 Ghana cedis, and it was used to settle debts. And this is taking place.
As in the teller used the money to settle?
Yeah, had a personal problem, so brought it to the bank, took deposited fund. You know, but I don't blame the teller. He or she is learning from the best.
Wait.
You know the directors, the shareholders. That's what they use.
Wait, Roland. So. Good morning to
Emma Morrison. Good morning to you. How are you? She's running away.
Business programming and multimedia. Wait, hang on. So the teller, you've read the story. I haven't read the story.
I did.
So he or she?
I think it's he.
Okay. So what? When they brought the money, didn't key it in or what? Like, I don't get it.
He found a way of making sure that it was not recorded.
So it didn't reflect in the
in
the customers' accounts.
We'll go through the story, and then you'll get to see what the details are.
Hey!
And
okay, listen, let's do the weather.
No, but the person is learning from the best. You know, the boldest report gives us indication.
Stop.
The directors just take the money, they invest in Zimbabwe, invest in, where do you live? Eastern region, eh? Or near Eastern region, Pokwase Development Association.
Let's do the weather. If you live in the Bono region, expect some rains.
Oh, again, you are promising us today. Yesterday you were here reading that we should wear black.
It wasn't so hot yesterday, was it? Variably cloudy conditions are expected over most parts of the country this morning, with cloudy conditions with few rains over the western parts of the Bono region. Sunny periods will prevail as the day progresses across the entire region. Scattered thunderstorms with rain will occur over the entire country this afternoon through to the evening. Mist and fog patches are expected over mountainous and forest areas early this morning. So here's what I say all the time. Adults, well, apart from the fact that places flood and we have to be careful, pack the right costume for your child before they leave for school. It's something that you should do overnight so you don't forget, because you really can't tell if it would rain or not. Yeah. And our producer says if your AC is faulty, you've got to fix the AC.
AC is what?
Okay, so that's air condition. If your car air condition is not working, you've got to fix it. That's your weather this morning. Courtesy the Ghana Meteorological Agency. All right, when we come back, we're not talking PIAC. Can you imagine what those figures would do for our Black Stars? Okay. When we come back, we're talking Black Stars, we're talking the Africa Cup of Nations. Are we still doing calculations for the Black Stars? Are you hopeful? Because we're not meeting a Benin that we thought, oh, it would be like
we're just walkovers.
We are meeting Cameroon. And there is a possibility that Dede Ayew may not.
Oh, Dede Ayew, our savior.
Tomorrow.
Look, I've seen this joke on social media. They said, you can imagine if Abedi Pele hadn't given birth to two sons.
Roland, this one is your own joke.
Oh, no, it's on social media, not me.
Joke. It's your own joke. Just the final one before we go. Happy birthday to Mrs. Rosemond Freeman Tete. It's from your husband, Superintendent Freeman Tete, and the children, Emily, Delma, and Desi. The message is, we love you. You are a great wife and mommy. So enjoy your birthday today, Mrs. Rosemond Freeman Tete. It's from your husband and the children, and of course, from all of us. Stay with us when we come back. It's a full-blown conversation. The Black Stars, the Africa Cup of Nations, here on the AM show. Please stay with us.